Okay. I am wearing the same clothes as yesterday. It's the same day. I'm filming this immediately after filming the last video. I realized I was looking back on my notes app. Oh, by the way, I'm Amanda. I'm 24. There we go. Uh, I posted a video yesterday about college related stuff. I realized when I looked at my notes app that I meant to talk about how I chose a major in college, and I didn't talk about that at all. This is what happens when you don't script anything. Anyway, yesterday's video, I kind of talked around things you should consider before choosing to go to college. Now, the video still didn't turn out how I planned because I didn't talk about a lot of important topics like, how much debt are you going to go into, what major are you choosing, things like that. But I did talk about, are you burnt out? Do you even like learning, like school learning? Because school learning is different from life learning, and also different from learning a trade like woodworking. So, all important things to consider. You can check out yesterday's video. But now, let's talk about choosing a major. I'm not going to tell you what to pick. Okay, I'm just going to tell you what major I picked, how I picked it, that major, and the thoughts that went into my choices. You are a different person, so you will not think like me. But my hope is that by learning my process, it'll help you think about what you want for yourself. So take what works and then throw away what doesn't. Okay, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you my story. Okay? Before anybody gets mad at me for like how I made my life choices or something. Stay mad, I guess, if you get mad. But anyway, I was a chemistry major in school and I graduated in May of 2022. It's January 2025 as I'm filming this. I graduated 2.5 years ago. I work in chemistry right now. If you Google my name, like my LinkedIn's gonna pop up. In fact, I actually just link it down below so you can like. There's proof that like I'm not a jobless individual. Not that's like not that I'm judging jobless individuals. Okay, it's a tough market out there, but I did get a job after college. Okay, um, but when I was in high school and applying to colleges, I so badly wanted to be a high school English teacher. There's a part of me, maybe an alternate universe, perhaps. In that alternate universe, perhaps I am actually a high school English teacher. Like, there's a part of me that'd be like so good at it. But I ultimately decided my love of English, my love of reading and writing, I don't have to make money off of it. I can keep it to myself. I can just enjoy it as in my own home or, just in my personal life. I don't necessarily need to make that my job. But I did want to become I didn't want to become a teacher in general. So I did end up having an education minor in college, which is generally like if you want to teach at the middle school level or above, you major in the topic you want to teach. So English, chemistry, history, whatever. And then you minor in education. Now, during college, I ultimately decided that I didn't want to teach in the K through 12 level. I want to teach at the college level. So, if you want to teach at the college level, you want to be a professor, you don't actually need to study education at all, which is incredibly distressing information to learn. And also explains if you are in college right now, I don't know why you're watching. Well, I guess you might be a freshman trying to pick a major, and you have had a bad professor. Yeah, that's a major reason why there's so many people that are so many professors that are like so bad at their jobs is because they don't have to learn how to teach. They didn't learn how to teach at all. Some of them really don't even like teaching. They're just there to do research. Or like they just loved, physics or political science or psychology or philosophy or whatever. They just loved it so much they're like, I want to spend my whole life doing that. And the only way to really spend your whole life doing that in a lot of cases is to become a professor. So that's what they do. Anyway, uh, I really enjoyed chemistry in high school is the like short answer of like how I ended up picking chemistry. Now, I wasn't like the best at chemistry. Yeah, I struggled with it so hard, and I struggled with it so hard during my entire degree. Like, I went to a small college, so there were literally 4 people who graduated, including myself, with a chemistry degree. There were 4 of us in the chemistry major in my class, the class of 2022. And I was the only person who didn't graduate with honors. The other 3 graduated like summa cum laude or magna cum laude. Like, they all graduated cum laude, and I did. So like I was on the struggle bus the whole time. I'm not saying like it was easy for me in any respect, but I just thought it was so fascinating. So I picked something I was passionate about. Is like the overarching answer here. Now you might just need to pick something that like you're not necessarily passionate about, but you like decently enough that you can like that it's not gonna make you want to like poke your eyes out. Okay. I actually, as a side note, know 2 people who thought they were going to be nurses but ended up picking accounting. One of those people actually literally graduated with their degree in nursing, worked in nursing, hated it, and then went back for a second degree in accounting. The other person changed their major junior year and like barely graduated on time, like, in 4 years. Actually, statistically, most people in the United States take 5 years to graduate. So actually, the norm is 5. So don't feel bad if you or someone you know took 5 years to graduate. It's actually what's normal. Now, like, there are a lot of reasons why this has become the case. It's supposed to be a 4-year degree, and then it ends up becoming 5. I graduated in 4 years, so like I can't speak to like the graduating in 5 years experience. Ideally, you should only take 4 years because like college is expensive, unless you like live in a place like I live in Illinois right now, and so if your family makes under, I think it's like 80,000 a year or something like that. If your family makes under 80,000 a year, and now like this is something that's starting with the incoming class, like this doesn't apply to like everybody that's like currently at the University of Illinois or anyone who went to U of I in the past, unfortunately. But currently, if you're going to start college like in 2025 or later, your family makes something like under 80,000 a year, you get to go to college for free if you're an Illinois resident. Like you've had to have graduated from an Illinois high school. Like you can't just move, be like, haha, like I want to go get free tuition in Illinois. No, like you do actually have to be from Illinois, or at least have lived here long enough to have graduated from an Illinois high school. But there are some places, like good old Illinois, where you can't get free college, and that's awesome. But for a lot of us, like I didn't get free college. Okay, like I was good at school. I was in all honors classes. I was in all AP classes in high school. Still didn't get a full ride. Didn't even get. I got like a 60% ride or something. Like, I also had parents that did like pay for college for me, so that was like that was a major privilege that I will acknowledge. My parents still had to pay 40%. So, anyway, this is not about paying for college. It's about choosing a major. Where am I going with this? How did I get on this tangent? So I was talking about at least pick something that doesn't want to make you like want to gouge your eyes out, right? Because sometimes your passions, like when I was talking about the English major stuff earlier that didn't pan out for me, sometimes your passions don't need to be turned into a money-making scheme, okay? Sometimes it just has to be something that you can decently tolerate and are decently good at. You don't have to be the world's best math person to become an accountant. You just have to like numbers enough and not want to pass away in your classes. If you feel like if you're sitting through a couple of classes and you're like, wow, I'd rather not exist than do this for 20-30 years, then maybe reconsider. because I don't think that's going to get better when you get into the workforce. There are majors that are more profitable than others. I'm not going to lie about that. You know, by being a chemistry major instead of being an English major, I am going to make more money than I would have as an English major. I have an easier time finding jobs. Chemistry jobs in general are just like always in demand. So, there is that. You know, there is. I know that there is the push, like, oh, STEM degrees are where it's at, and humanity degrees are considered worthless. I don't think humanity degrees are worthless at all. I think it's important to just have knowledge in general, because I love learning. I talked about that in my previous video, how much I love learning. Sometimes I just want to learn for the sake of it. I don't need it to be practical. I don't need it to serve a purpose. I don't need it to make me money. I just think that's neat. You know, just knowing, I don't know, I'm trying to pull something that I've learned. I took a class in college called the History of Science. It didn't even fulfill a general education for me. A requirement for me. I just took it because it was fun. Literally did nothing to help me graduate or make money. Was that one of the best dang classes I ever took? Absolutely. Did I have a lot of fun? Literally, yeah. I had so much fun. I have no regrets about it. I don't think humanity degrees are worthless at all. In fact, if I had the money, I would go get a second degree in like one of the humanities. But I will say that it can be harder. Can be. I don't have a humanities degree, so I can't speak to that on a personal level. It can be harder to get a job with a humanities degree. But if you know how to spin yourself well, you don't necessarily have to get a job in the degree that you got. I know people, not like on a personal level, like I just know like from my alumni network that there were people who graduated with a chemistry degree who ended up like founding a construction business. People who ended up becoming insurance agents, becoming a writer. Now going to medical school, going to vet school, pharmacy school, the going on to like further education is kind of like a normal pathway for someone in a STEM degree. But you can actually go to medical school if you major in history. Now, like the thing is, you still have to take all the prerequisites. You still have to take all the science and math classes, right? But there were music majors from my college who went on to med school. So, now like if med school is not your thing, or PA school, or physical therapist school, or whatever school, then obviously don't do that. But just, food for thought. If you are considering going on to like some further education, some professional school, you can choose whatever major you want as long as you meet all the prerequisites for that particular pathway. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what major to pick, like I said, I can just kind of give you some general advice, some things to think about, and sometimes you just kind of have to try something and fail. Now, I don't mean like fail your class, like please do not do that, like please try to avoid that when possible. Like no one has asked for my GPA since I graduated college. Okay, like it doesn't matter anymore, especially now that I'm almost 3 years out of the workforce. I'm 3 years in the workforce out of college. My work experience speaks for itself. They don't need to look at my GPA to try to determine whether I'm a good worker or not. But your GPA does matter a little bit, especially when you are fresh out of college. what I mean by failing a little bit is maybe you go take a biology class. Maybe you take a pre-law class. I don't know what pre-law classes are. It depends on your college, I guess. You might like literally have classes that are like designated as pre-law. For my college, we didn't have like official like we didn't have an actual like pre-law program, so people just took like whatever classes. Like what even classes do you need to go to law school? I know nothing about law school. I'm sure they have specific prerequisites you have to take, but I have no idea what they are. Oh, you can graduate with a STEM degree and then go to law school. Like normally you think like, oh, like it's a political science person that goes to law school, but you might become a patent attorney, and you might have to like, or you might want to, not have to. If you get like a chemistry or a biology or biochemistry or whatever have you degree, then that will help you like evaluate patents as a patent attorney that are related to scientific inventions. So there's a potential pathway for you. Gosh, I keep losing my train of thought. What was I even talking about? Oh gosh, I lost it. Completely lost it. Oh, taking classes that to see if you like them or not. And if something seems tolerable to you, or something like really sparks an interest in you, go and ask your professor, hey, what jobs could I get like that are related to like this topic? They might not know. Okay, they're a professor, like they went to school for a really long time. The average PhD takes 5 to 6 years. In chemistry, I know like some people who take like 7 to 8, so it just really kind of varies. But they went to school for, you know, the now they might like have grown up in a different country, because there are plenty of international professors who like immigrated to the United States. But if they grew up in America, they went to school K through 12, about 12 to 13 years. Then they went to college for 4 years, so that's 17 years. Then they got their PhD, that's about 6 years. That's 23 years. They went to school for 23 years, and now they're still in school because they're teaching at a school. So they might not know, they might not be the best person to ask, but they might have had peers. They might have had the classmates that went and, you know, chose industry, not academia. So their starting point. Please use career services on campus. Every college has a career services. Ask, hey, if I want to get a degree in environmental science, what potential jobs could I get after? Could I like really be a good fit for, or like really look attractive for? What jobs look for an environmental science degree? Like what's the statistics right now? What does the Bureau of Labor Statistics say? I know I said bureau, really weird. About like job outcomes for this degree. Am I likely to get a job with this degree? Like, if I want to go into XYZ, how hard is it? Are there jobs available, or are there mass layoffs happening right now? Career services might not have the answers to all of that either, but they could be a useful resource. Theoretically, I never ended up using career services at my college. I just kind of figured my career stuff out on my own, just like through life. But theoretically, they're supposed to be able to help you find the answers to those questions. I'm not saying everybody's competent at their job, okay? Like, I know, it's a reality of life. But they're a resource, they're a starting point at least. You can try. You can at least say, I went and asked them, and then they were useful or they weren't. But you tried. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up now because like this video is way too long, way too rambly. But this is literally the experience. There's a disclaimer on my channel. Like, I talk a lot. That's the point. Is I think what my channel description says right now. So thank you for hanging out. I hope at least part of this was useful to you, or at least helped you feel less lonely today. I will talk to you again soon.